Hey everyone, how are you? In this video, we are going to solve the Leetcode problem of the day, and the problem is number of zero-filled subarrays. Now, the problem category is of medium level, but I would say it's a very easy problem, and let's go through the problem and let's make it easy. So, given an integer array nums, we need to return the number of subarrays filled with 0. A subarray is a contiguous non-empty sequence of elements within an array. So, the problem is very simple. You are given an input array, and we need to find out how many subarrays do we have which are filled with 0. That is, the subarray should only have 0. For example, for the first input, where these are our numbers, we have 6 number of subarrays which has just 0. And I will tell you what are those subarrays. We can have a subarray with just one element 0 and this is 1. Then we can have a subarray with two elements 0, 0 and this can be 2. And then we can take this particular 0. Earlier we took the third 0. Now we are taking the fourth 0 as single element array or a subarray and calling it as a subarray with only 0. So when we have two continuous 0, we are able to create three subarrays. Similarly, with these two continuous 0, we will be able to create. Now let me tell you a very simple logic to solve the problem, and let's do it with the example number 2. When these are our elements, right? When these are the elements, what simply we can do is we can scan our elements one by one. Let us scan the first element. Let's forget about other elements. When we see the first element, we got a subarray with just one element 0, right? This is our first answer, or the first subarray with zero filled subarray. Now when we see the new element, and since our earlier element was a 0, we can still create a subarray of 0, 0, right? So it can be 0, 0. This is our second answer. And then when we see the new element, we can also create another subarray of just this particular element, the newest element, right? So this is 0. Similarly, when we see again a new element, then in this case, we can again see that the previous elements were 0, right? So I can just say that this is one subarray, right? The last two elements is another subarray of just 0. And the last three elements is another subarray of just 0, right? Now I see a 2, right? The moment I see a 2, my continuous input as 0 is broken. Now I see a 2. Next I see a 0. Now I cannot utilize the previous zeros with this new 0 to create another subarray, right? Because subarray has to be continuous. So now I can say that this is another subarray 0. And then I see a new element which is 0. And then with the new element, I can combine the previous 0 and I can say this is another subarray. So I got a total of 9 subarrays, right? And that's what the answer is for the example number 2. Now you will have to understand a very important thing here. Let me put the input again here. And what you need to understand here is we are actually working with a formula. When we see one element, it is just one subarray. But the moment I see another element which is a continuous 0, I am getting two more subarrays. One with the previous element and one the element itself. Two more subarrays, right? Now I see another element which is 0 and it is a continuous set of zeros. So this is the third 0. So I am getting three more subarrays of just 0. One is the element itself, one is combining it with the previous element, and one is combining it with the previous two elements, right? So three subarrays. Now I get a break. Now I don't have the continuous set of zeros, right? So now if I see another 0, now I will not be able to combine it with previous zeros to create more subarrays, but I can create another subarray with just one element. Now again I see continuous zeros and this is the second 0. So I am getting two more subarrays. One is the element itself and another is combining it with the previous element. So what I can draw from here is the moment I see one 0, I got one subarray. Now if I get another 0 which is continuous, that is the second 0. So I get two subarrays with this particular element. Now I see another element which is a 0 and it is continuous and it is the third 0. So I get three more subarrays. Now there is a break. So no more subarrays. Now I see 0, which is the first 0, so I get one subarray. Now I see another 0 which is the second 0, so I got two more subarrays. So I just need to count the continuous set of zeros, and the moment I am getting zeros, I will see how many zeros I have continuous, that many subarrays, that many more subarrays I will get which are just filled with zeros. So this is a very easy problem. Let's do one thing. Let's try to solve it. Let's create a variable called as 0 to count the number of continuous zeros and another variable called as result to store our final answer of total number of subarrays. Now let's run a loop in our nums, and now we can say if n is equal to 0, at this moment I can say that 0 is equal to 0 plus 1. We are going to increase the count of 0, and also we are going to say result is equal to result plus 0. The number of zeros, the number of continuous zeros we are getting, we can just add it in our result, and if the number is not 0, if this condition is false, so we can say 0 is equal to 0. We can reset the value of number of continuous zeros. Now let me return the value of result, and I think this should do it. Let's run the code, let's submit the code, and let us see if we are able to pass all the test cases. Okay, it is a wrong answer. Okay, I think there is a mistake. So basically I wrote here 0. It should be 0 as the number and not 0 as a variable. So I think now this should do it. Earlier it was just a small mistake. So now let's wait for the answer, and yes, everything is fine. The time complexity is good. The memory used is really good. So we have solved this problem in O n time complexity and O1 space complexity because we are not using any extra space. And you can see guys, the solution is so simple that, and that's the reason I was saying it is a very easy problem and not a medium level of problem. But yeah, it is good for practice. If you know this pattern, you will be able to solve actual medium and hard questions. So guys, I think that's it for this video. If this video helps you to understand something and you gained something from this video, then make sure that you hit that like button. And if you have not subscribed to my channel as of now, then make sure that to subscribe to the channel as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. I want to see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching this one, guys.